Okay, welcome to another episode of Dishing with Diamonds. My name is Rainey Anderson, and I have the absolute privilege of having Helen McFadden, Diamond Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, with us today. She's a friend, she's a mentor, she's all things sparkly and amazing, and she's sharing her time with us today. Thank you, Helen, for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited. This is going to be so fun.
Yay. Well, before we get started with the questions, I just want to remind everybody that's tuning in that what we're sharing today is our experience. We're not making any health claims. We're not making any financial claims. We are just simply sharing our personal experience that we have had with the company, and we are not corporately sponsored in this event. We're just simply here to share our journey of Plexus. So let's get started. So Helen, will you describe your life before you were introduced to Plexus?
All right. Well, my life before Plexus, it's kind of weird to think about pre-Plexus. We were not in debt. I'm just going to go right to the financial.
Yeah.
We were not in debt. We were actually really, really good with our money. We had paid off some debt, refinanced our home, just got real smart. But we were pretty much paycheck to paycheck, and because we were debt-free, we weren't really able to save any money. So we didn't really have college savings per se for the kids, and I have two boys, and they're going to be, well, one's in college now, one's about to, one more year, and so financially, it was pretty bleak. I had been working part-time and taking care of my parents for a few years prior to Plexus, so I wasn't really bringing home any kind of, money to speak of that was really making a dent. And then, other than that, I will say, like emotionally and the harmony in our home, it wasn't super great simply because my husband had been with an airline for 27 years. And after 9/11, a lot of things changed, and especially like the whole flight schedule. We've always lived in Reno, and he's always commuted to the Bay Area, San Francisco area to get to work. And it got so tough with the internet, and flights were getting full all the time. And he was, always flying standby because employees can. And he would sometimes land in San Francisco at 10 in the morning, and we wouldn't even see him until 11 o'clock at night. He would sometimes have to go through Vegas to get home, Portland to get home. Sometimes he'd rent a car and just drive home, which cost money, just the stress of all that. And at the time, I have my two boys, so on a 3-day trip, sometimes it would turn into 4. He'd a lot of times have to go down the night before. And I was taking care of my mom who has Alzheimer's. So by day 3, day 4, especially if extended to 4 days of him being gone, I was like a single mom. I'd be ready to kill somebody, especially if it was that time of the month. It was really hard. I have a son with some learning challenges. And so just by the time he'd get home, it's oh my gosh, don't leave again, ever. So there was just a lot of stress in our home. And then the fact that he wasn't loving his job anymore, it's hard. We didn't really have a plan B. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, when my parents were no longer with me for me to take care of them. And so I was literally praying for something to come along that could help us eventually when I could work full time financially for him to, be able to retire, etc. So to say that Plexus has been a blessing financially, and then more importantly, just emotionally, and having now that I've been able to retire him, he's an Emerald. He was able to retire 3-4 years early. It's just been a dream. He has chickens now. It's like night and day. He's like a little farm boy from Minnesota, so he's in his element.
I love that though. I love that it's offered y'all those freedoms. So let's backtrack just a little bit. How were you introduced to Plexus?
So I was in network marketing for 16 years, and I was out of it for about 3-4 years before I heard about Plexus. So I had a friend that was also in that network marketing company with me. Her name is Sheila Medina, who was the first diamond in Plexus. And I didn't know she was in Plexus. We had lost touch after I'd heard through the grapevine that she'd gotten out of that company as well. So it was just a divine day. It was August 2012. I was on that little social media site called Facebook, which is divine in that I really wasn't on Facebook every day. I didn't have a ton of Facebook friends, and she was not even my Facebook friend. She liked a picture, no, a mutual friend of ours liked her picture. So her picture and her name popped up on my screen. So Kelly Moeller likes Sheila Madigan's picture. I'm like, Sheila, what's she up to? So just out of morbid curiosity, I have to go see what she's doing. I just went to her ball and saw that she had a Plexus Lexus. She had just gotten it. You know, Ray, her husband, had gotten a diamond Rolex watch in New Orleans. They were in evening gowns. I'm like, she got back into network marketing because only network marketing gives away diamond watches and cars. And I was just like, what the heck is Plexus? Never heard of it. And I had been, my part-time job was, one of them was a Weight Watcher leader. I had one meeting a week, and I loved helping people get healthy, but so many would hit plateaus, and they do the program right. They were addicted to carbs and sugar, and they couldn't lose that last 5-10 pounds, or even really any weight for that matter. With, you know, I've learned so much about how important it is to have your body balanced from the inside out. So when I read all about the pink drink and then the triplex, it wasn't called the triplex at the time, but what the BioCleanse and ProBio would do, those were like really the 3 products that we featured at the time on the website. I just said, I just have got to share these. I just, for myself, still craving carbs, and all my members and just my friends, this sounds amazing. And it didn't sound like a diet because, of course, I worried about what are people going to think. Miss Weight Watchers goes to, you know, sell some crazy little pink drink that loses, you know, people lose weight. So I showed Rainey, I showed you this before we started the call. So all of you guys know I'm a Diamond Ambassador, which means I get to be a stay-at-home dog mom. So that's one of my whys. I needed to be home all day with my sweet little puggle Pearly. So Sonia got me this shirt. She got one too, which is great.
Which is such a shock. If anybody knows Helen and Sonia, they have clothing, you know, articles that are, you know, similar, or maybe just
right. I know we haven't worn them together yet, but I'm sure that's coming. Stay tuned.
That's coming. Yep, absolutely. Well, I have both of my dogs, and I always warn everybody, and this week is no different, that if you all of a sudden hear random barking or growling, it's not my stomach. It's literally because I have my 2 pooches. They like take up shop with me, so I need a shirt like that as well because.
Oh, isn't it great? Oh, I'll have to remember that.
I totally stay at home with my dog. So anyways, okay, so Sheila introduced you to Plexus. So we know that was in August of 2012. Walk us through your journey. Did you sign on as a customer first, or did you just jump right into the business?
Okay, I actually love sharing this part of my story because I did join for the business. I didn't even taste the pink drink. I just, you know, coming from a network marketing background, you kind of learn, well, why wouldn't you get a wholesale? I don't get that. And Sheila told me that she made 6 figures her first year in Plexus. So I just trusted her. She had a lot of credibility. You know, there was no reason to believe that she was embellishing or exaggerating about Plexus. I even asked her, I mean, I kept her on the phone for 2 hours. I was like, okay, tell me all the bad stuff. Has anyone ever gotten sick or died from the pink drink? You know, she's just like dying. But I just, you know, it was scary because I told everybody I wasn't going to network marketing again. And I just wanted to know what really, truly did these products work. And so I did join on a leap of faith. And so when people tell me that they just have to see how the products work before they'll tell a soul, I think, okay, so you're going to wait to lose your little 5 pounds or whatever signal or sign that these products work for you. And you have a neighbor who could be having massive blood sugar issues or massive pain. And you're not even going to talk about Plexus until you see a result. And really, it's more of a relevant kind of debate now than ever, because like when I was new, we didn't have any testimonies. I mean, I literally, I had, you know, I lost a few pounds my first week. I could tell by week 2, my mood was better. I was sleeping like a baby. I always slept pretty good anyway, but it was like a deep, deep, deep sleep, you know. But I just wanted testimonies. So I would just say, hey, I'm pioneering this product on the West Coast, and I'm sure you've never heard of Plexus. I'd love your opinion and see how you feel after a few days of drinking this amazing drink that's made of plant extracts. I just had my little spiel, and people love to give their opinion. And so that's really how I started. And I just, to this day, I'll just tell people, you know, the reason so many people have health issues that they do are most oftentimes brought on by stress, and that stress is typically going to be financial. And so why wouldn't we talk about the business? And why wouldn't we just trust that now with all the testimonies and, we're doing $50 million a month? How do you have 16 products and you're doing $5 million a month as a company if they didn't work? Yeah. And I get that people, they really want to have a testimony, but if you just start noticing the non-scale victories, you will have a testimony in no time, because, I think we just get so caught up in an inch or a pound, but, are you sleeping better? How is your pooping? How is your, mood? How is your cravings? If most people will feel that something in their first week. So just go with that and share other people's testimonies. But, the secret, if there is one, to you and I and all the other people who become diamonds and, just really taking this business and run with it, is that we just keep opening our mouth, and we're not afraid. We're proud to be a part of Plexus. We're proud to share these products. We trust, we believe, and we just keep putting one foot in front of another. And yes, we're going to get no's. Yes, we're going to have people that say the products don't work, or I'm quitting, or whatever. But that's, okay. Well, why, you're going to also have people that aren't and are going to love it. And so you just got to look at it like a business, and just believe and trust in that the products are amazing and they are what the masses need. And so that's been my attitude from day one. Sheila told me, she said, Helen, if you don't build Plexus in your town or wherever, someone else will. And I thought, well, I want the financial freedom. I want the time freedom. I want to retire my husband. I want to be a stay-at-home dog mom. I want my boys to have college paid for, so they're not graduating with six-figure debt, which is now becoming the norm for so many college students. So your why has to just be so much bigger than any fear of what someone will think or say or do, or all that stuff just becomes irrelevant. And you just have the emotional maturity to know that's part of it. Okay, that's part of it. I'm going to expect it. So what? Okay, there's going to be way better great days and bigger wins than the icky stuff that can happen. And that's the attitude of a healthy, happy ambassador.
Absolutely. I cannot agree with you more on that. And, we talk about belief being so crucial in what we do, but I like to take that a step further. And I actually learned this from somebody on my team. So Tanner, if you're watching, this is about you. It's beyond belief. It's about being certain. You are certain in the products. You are certain in your ability. I've said that was amazing. And so I love to share that because, that's a word I want to get out, because it's beyond belief. It's the certainty that you have, not only in the products, but in your ability.
Right. I mean, yeah, if you're certain of something, then there is no wavering. It's like, well, I'm certain.
There's no plan B. Yeah, there is no plan B. Like you, I needed the business side of it. I wanted the business side of it. And so like you, I spent about 2 hours on the phone with Celeste. And what was funny about that conversation is, at the time, I think Celeste was a gold ambassador. And I'm grilling her because this was my ticket to not have to go get a job. And so, of course, in my 2-hour conversation, it looked something like, now, do you really think that this is legit? You don't think that this is just a one-year gig, or, that we really are going to do this? And I mean,
yeah, kind of like the questions I asked Sheila.
Because of her certainty, though, I was in, and I said, okay, well, we're going to go do this. Like, this is happening. It was not an option for it to fail. And I even joked that I didn't know what it meant to be a diamond ambassador. We didn't have the fancy compensation. We had the chart, but we didn't have the annual, like what that looked like to be a diamond.
Disclosure.
Yeah, the disclosure. Yeah. We didn't have that. And so I just looked at the comp plan and said, okay, I want to be this diamond thing. And what do we need to do to get there? And do you think I could do it in a year? Because that sounds reasonable. Not having any, idea. There were no trailblazers in our area outside of Celeste, though she was just getting started. So we all know Celeste and how amazing she has worked this business. And so when that's your sponsor, you just go with it. You don't know.
Yeah, like it's so true. Like her certainty affected your decision.
Absolutely.
And that's, I always talk about like posture, and when you're confident and all in and you're like, I'm doing this, like other people can't help but go, well, okay, I want to follow her. I want to jump on her train.
Absolutely. And keep in mind, she was certain as a gold ambassador. So it wasn't like I was talking to Double Diamond Celeste.
Right.
I'm just getting started. Hey, girl, I'm 6 weeks into this. But she was certain. And because she was certain, so was I. So
I love it.
So, okay. So you've been in Plexus, what, 4.5 years now?
Yeah, like not quite 4.5, but somewhere in the middle of that. Yeah.
So somewhere there. How do you stay motivated?
Oh my gosh. Well, how do you not? You know, I mean, I always tell my team, like, if you're ever not motivated, just read your last text message from a customer or an ambassador who thanked you for introducing these products. You know, but it's a good question as a diamond, because I think people think, well, you know, you've reached the pinnacle, and I am a ruby on my second leg, and I'm actually working harder to get Matt. He's pretty close to sapphire. So there's all that. But, you know, for me, my why has changed. You know, you always have to have your why reevaluated. And, you know, like I started to say, your why has to be your driver, simply because of the challenging times that we have in this business, and you're your own boss. So you have to be responsible every single day for your efforts and your activity, and your why should just drive you to that point. So for me, what motivates me now is I have a lot of level ones that aren't at jewel level yet, and they want it really bad. And so, you know, I do coaching calls, and we just do, you know, different things together to really help, three-way calls, and I'm just doing anything I can to help them without enabling them, you know, just to support them in their goal to become a jewel and get to know their team members and have any kind of positive influence I can have on their teams. So that's really my why, you know, at this point. And it's very, very motivating, because, you know, we know what it's like to be at this level, and, you know, and yes, the Hawaii trips and the cars and all that stuff is great, but just the friendships and that the ability to know, like, when you reach our level, that you have changed that many lives, and that feeling of just gratitude that you, because you said yes and you stepped out of your comfort zone, now you have people. I mean, I got a text message yesterday from one of my emeralds, and she was like, thank you so much. I'm trying to think of exactly what it said. It was basically just, thank you. I'm coming up to my 4-year anniversary this month. Thank you so much for introducing me to Plexus. She said, I took a pastoral role at my church, and I would never have done that prior to Plexus. Because of the person now that I've become, I have the confidence to do things I never ever thought in my lifetime I could ever do or have the confidence to do. And I was like, holy smokes, you know, I mean, if that doesn't motivate you to continue sharing, because we all know Plexus is so much bigger than just the pink drink, and, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I appreciate how you referenced, you know, somebody, how this business, how this opportunity, how these products has impacted somebody else's life. And so, you know, I think life just happens, and there are days that we have amazing days, and then there are other days that we're like, whoo, this was a challenging day. But then when you go back and you realize the impact that you had either directly or indirectly, that is absolutely,
there's nothing like it, you know. That's really what we were put on this earth to do, is to make a difference in some capacity. And I mean, holy smokes, if Plexus is your vehicle, you can make some serious impact on thousands of lives. The ripple effect is incredible. So
it is. It's so amazing. So do you have a motivational phrase that kind of plays over in your head, whether it's, you know, biblical or just, you know, an inspiring one? Is there one that like I'll have my affirmations, you know, I'm just always so grateful. I'm just living a constant state of gratitude, of course. But like the first thing that Sheila ever said to me, you know, is, Helen, if you don't, someone else will. What I shared is something I still think about, you know, if I'm ever, because we still get fearful, or, oh my gosh, you know, okay, how am I going to bring Plexus up, or something, you know, if you just meet somebody. And even as a diamond, I'm sure we all feel that way. It's kind of like, okay, you know, I want to somehow let this person know that I have something that could change his or her life or whatever. So that, you know, she was like, if you don't, someone else will, still rings in my ear, which is a great thing. And then I love the phrase, if it is to be, it's up to me. And I share that a lot with my team, because nothing is more frustrating when you hear people complain about their downline not working, or their upline's not supportive, or, you know what,
for every reason you think it can't be done, there's someone else out there doing it with the same set of circumstances. They're doing it anyway. So if it is to be, it's up to me is a really good kind of I call them little checkups from the neck up. It's like an attitude adjustment. It's like, you know what? It is up to me. Every single day, I'm in charge of my attitude, my choices, if I'm going to open my mouth, if I'm going to be prepared and have my samples ready. And every single day, every single thing I do, it's up to me. Nobody needs to, hold my hand, push me. The most self-sufficient ambassadors are the most successful ambassadors. Absolutely. So I just love that. And when you achieve success, it's so gratifying to know, I mean, yes, we have a team. Obviously, our teams are how we rank up. But we still have to open our mouth to get that customer, to get that ambassador, to have that confidence and get better every single day, to be that better leader, to help others and duplicate by helping them get what they want out of the business. So it's always really does come back to us. And that's a really very important part of knowing our job in network marketing and Plexus. And I think people just think it's going to be easier or someone's going to carry them to the top or, no, we have to grow up. We have to, put on our big girl boy panties and we have to take responsibility for our goals and our dreams.
Absolutely. I love that because it's holding yourself accountable. It's up to you. And it's those reminders that really hit you in the heart, like, oh yeah, for real. I keep a picture, so you see this part of, you only see this, but what's in front of me is the end of my desk. It's a built-in kind of board, if you will, and I'm super fancy. I put my goals on Post-it notes, and I have them just all over this board, but I also keep a picture of Sadie, because there are days that there's someone I need to reach out to that I don't feel like it, or I get a little chicken, and I keep her picture there because that's my, obviously that's my why, but am I going to disappoint her? Is my fear of, not confronting somebody, or following up with somebody because of a fear of a no, or I'm borderline stalking them. But is it worth her price? Is it worth not being able to pay for her college or be able to do Christmas for her or whatever the next thing is? I look at her little face and like, am I okay explaining to her, well, I didn't want to follow up with him.
Love it.
I didn't want to grow anymore, so you have to have something, and her little face and those eyes are a reason for me, much less all the other little reminders I have or goals I have up there that,
That's awesome. I mean, think about what you're teaching her, by having those goals up there. And, I think so much more is caught than taught. And so, my boys, they know I work really hard, and we go to Hawaii in a week, and they're going to love every bit of it.
Yes, they are.
You feel guilty sometimes if you have to leave or travel, but I mean, they see you working hard after a goal and a dream. They see it because it's in your house. It's not like you're in an office and they never see what you're doing all day. So I think it's really cool the impact we can have on our children when we really take this job, we run with our goals. Like, we really do it. We don't just talk about it all the time. We actually go do it.
Well, absolutely, and we set those deadlines and we make them happen. And I think partly because I don't want to look at Sadie and say, well, I said I was going to do this and I didn't.
Yeah.
And not to say that everything has been the Midas touch in this. I mean, we've had to reset some goals and say, okay, but we're still not giving up on that. And, and we are very much a family of lists and writing out our thankfuls. And, you say it's caught, not taught. And that was proven to me with Sadie the other day when I went up in her room and just kind of tidying up after she left, and saw on her desk there was a little list, and it said top 10 ways I can be better. And so it was just amazing to me that she has her list of goals, and I mean, it was everything from being a better listener to being a better friend to getting better, studying more in math or whatever it was that she feels like she needs to improve on. But just the fact that she took it upon herself list. So it is so important for us to take this, because it's such an amazing opportunity. And you said so well that it's a ripple effect, but it starts in our own home where we're impacting,
Absolutely. I mean, being able to tell your kids you can do anything you want if you're willing to work hard and stay committed and break down those goals. And every single day when you get kicked down, you just get right back up. I mean, they get to see that in us, and because that's a lot of what we do. I mean, we don't always get what we want, and no cookie cutter goal, everything works out perfectly. No, sorry. Let me shut my door.
No, you're fine.
Dog. But Larson just got home, so I'm just going to shut the door.
That's okay. No worries.
Go to your bed, honey.
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
So we talked about, so this team knows I ask the same questions every single week because we like to hear from different perspectives. But I feel like we can skip the question of how do you invite someone to look at this opportunity, because I think you simply answered it earlier by saying you talk, you listen to where people are, and you're bold in approaching them. Is there anything you'd want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing, people don't care to know how much you know until they know that you really care. We always hear that, but there's so much truth to that in our business. And because we're selling health and wellness and not candles or makeup, and not to put down those things, but it does require credibility on our part and trust for them to take a look at Plexus. So I don't, every situation is going to be different, depending on who the person is and how the conversation starts and things like that. But sometimes, I don't bring Plexus up right away. And then when they do hear that I'm with Plexus, and then even better when they hear later maybe that I am a top ambassador or whatever, that they know that I didn't just like diarrhea or, vomit Plexus, whatever the word is. Diarrhea is probably not the right word. Vomit. Plexus all over them from the get-go. Like they're like, gosh, she's not that typical network marketer that's given the industry such a bad rap because they're so like all the time, that just, 24/7. I'm just very much about balance. And, I want people to know that Plexus is extremely important to me, and I love sharing the products, but I also have a life. And if I don't want to just have friends just to end up having them be customers and ambassadors. I really do value people and relationships. And part of that is because of my history. When I was in the other company for 16 years, I started to look at people as the bottom line. I mean, it's like that, our comp plan was different. So like we have a lot of people doing a little in Plexus, if, we $100 or more a month. Whereas in the other company, you could have like one or two people come in and they would like buy thousands of dollars worth of inventory. And so you'd start to just look at people and not really value them as people. Mm-hmm. So I'm very, very conscious of that still. It's kind of like in me now forever that I never want to be. I mean, I am the crazy Plexus lady. People know that, of course. On Facebook, we have a lot of fun with that. But like in real life or, in my relationships and stuff, a lot of people do come around just for the simple fact that they know it, when they're ready, I'll help them. And, it's not that I don't bring it up and, hey girl, you got to get on this, or, I'll say it if it's appropriate, but I just think we just got to be real careful because we're still branding this company. We're still pioneering, many times people that you meet for the first time, that's the first time they've heard of Plexus, or, it's like what they're going to form in their mind. And so I just think we have to be really careful that yes, we're passionate. Yes, we want these products. Everybody can use these products. We want to change the world with the pink drink, etc. But I'm just, I have a little bit more of a gentle approach. So if I just cold message people, I'm not going to bring Plexus up right away. I just don't. But some people do, and it's effective. And that's what's great. It depends on our personality and all that. But I have a lot of people that come back around if they've stopped the products. A lot of people that watch me now 2-3 years that come around, and I love it, but obviously if I meet somebody and they're complaining about their weight, you better believe I'll bring up Plexus, so.
But I think it's like you said, it's knowing who you're speaking to. It's using that intuition and really being in tune to that, and knowing that it's okay to not mention Plexus the first time, the second time, letting them find that out naturally, because inevitably it will come up, because like you also said, it's a part of your life. It's
right.
Your third baby or fourth baby, if depending on your dog baby is what I'm referring to. So your fourth baby or fifth baby, if we're including Matt in that.
Right. Exactly.
Right? So, okay, talk to me about some business tips. What are 3 of your top business tips?
Okay, so I wrote a few of these down. Okay, so my first one would be, and I've already kind of mentioned this, is don't wait. Don't wait. This is a business, we fail forward. Okay, so yes, the starter kit's great, and everybody should have read through it 600 times and know our products, know scripts and things, like that are so important. I mean, we screamed for 2-3 years for a universal training for our new ambassadors. So even if you're a seasoned ambassador, you should definitely know the starter kit. But this business is the only way you're ever really going to learn this business is if you start sharing the products and you start putting yourself out there and asking people, would you ever consider being an ambassador, or, giving them options from the get-go of wholesale, retail, preferred, and talking about, who do you know? Do you have a plan B in your life, or do you have a dream in your heart for something bigger? Plexus could be like that power of suggestion. Don't wait on that. There's too many lives to change, and typically if people wait and they're waiting on their testimony, they're waiting for whatever, it's fear-based, and that fear will never serve you. Fear is false evidence appearing real. And if you have an inkling that you think that this is something you would like to get your products paid for, it could actually become it's a 4-digit income a month, or replace an income or your full-blown career and become just don't wait. Don't wait, and don't worry about knowing everything or being right. And if you don't, people still to this day, they'll ask me something. It's like, oh my gosh, that's a great question. Let me get back to you tomorrow. I'm going to find out. I think I might know, but I want to make sure I give you the right answer. You can say that from the get-go. I'm pretty new. I'm still learning. And I feel sorry for perfectionists. I'm not that personality style, but there are people who will not. I have to know everything. No, you don't. No, you don't. Get over yourself. Go help people. People, if they want to know ingredients that much, they'll research them themselves, right? So, it's just, don't let fear hold you back, and jump in with both feet, play ball with your upline, get to know your sidelines, immerse yourself in this Plexus family. It's the greatest company, business. It's the whole package. You won't be sorry, but stop thinking about it and just do it. Okay, so that's number 1, is don't wait. Do you have anything to add?
Well, I of course, this is like a conversation to me. And so I just want to jump in and say, I absolutely love the part where you said, just jump in and do it. Don't be a perfectionist, because I really look at any time that we use a piece of our personality as an excuse to not do something, it's ego, whether that's for the good. Like sometimes we look at someone who's shy and they're like, oh, I'm too shy, I can't do the business. That's ego, because you're allowing a piece of your personality to hold you back in being your best you. And, include that being a perfectionist. Oh, I've got to know it all. No, you don't. You're being selfish. Get out there and share it.
Right. Right. I mean, get over yourself. Yeah. It's okay to be wrong. I mean, are you kidding me? In the very beginning, I had to go back and tell people, I'm sorry, I was so new, I didn't really know much. Let's have a redo. Here's a little discount off a product if you're willing to try it again. I mean, we all just fail forward, but look where it's gotten us, right? I mean, it's all good. So, so this is probably my favorite of the 3, because I feel like all the skill in the world won't really matter unless we have lots of great self-confidence, esteem, and posture and everything. So, a very wise person told me this one time, is that you want to work harder on yourself than any other part of the business. And, we talk a lot about, relationships and challenging relationships and customers, objections, sidelines, not getting along. And, as leaders, we kind of end up becoming, a lot of times putting out fires of just, relationships, and being able to be that person who can really handle a lot of the conflict and things that come across in this business, because yes, it's health and wellness, but it is a people business. It's a relationship business. And so we have to become really, really good with our people skills and our own abilities to really be a good, effective leader, and really learn to love people, and learn to agree to disagree, put differences aside, be just for the better good, the common good of changing lives in Plexus. And it's heartbreaking to me when I see people, allow that part of the business because they don't want to look inside, they just want to blame so it always comes back to us, and we can always do better. As a Diamond Ambassador, I still work on myself, and I refer back to the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. And, school is never out for the pro, but we can't work on personal growth enough to become the best version of us, like you said, that God created us to be. And when we do that, we give permission to other people to do that. And that's the ripple effect, the beautiful ripple effect of stepping out and just becoming the best version of you. Is it inspires people to do the same for themselves. And that's how we end up just all becoming so successful. It's not in terms of rank, but just feeling like that text message I got. It's like I'm a different person today, 4 years later, because I said yes to Plexus. And she does work on herself, and she does a lot of that. She's a student of this business. And just to watch her blossom, are you kidding me? It's been amazing. So work harder on yourself is number 2. Anything you want to add?
No, yeah.
So it's just good stuff. I just love that network marketing, really fosters that in us, to become the best version of us. And so, and then the third one is just to be grateful. And, when we have to choose joy in this business, we have to choose. I always tell my team, when our feet hit the floor every morning, just have that attitude of gratitude. I don't have to do Plexus. I get to do Plexus. Lord, bring me the people today that, I don't want this business to be hard. I don't want to have to chase people down, coerce people. It's not my style. Don't, never want to do that. Who are the people who've been praying for what Plexus has to offer? Put them in my path. And just to really be grateful that we're the messengers of these life-changing products. And, when I hear people say, I just need one more person to get to silver, I just feel like I get that. But then, you start to look at people as a means to a goal or an end. And so, just to be grateful that we get to share these products. I think that mind shift that can take place, instead just say, Lord, put the people in my path that who needs these products. The ranks, the money, the life changes and all that will come, but just to really be humbled and grateful at all times, through every circumstance, through every situation. And you will really find the joy. It'll find you in this business. It won't be this struggle that I see people go through. So
I think so often people put that pressure on themselves to get to the next rank or get to the first rank. And I've seen people get frustrated with this business and leave at a certain rank because they weren't advancing quick enough, or it just wasn't about them. And that's one thing I have learned in this business. What brought us into this business was the products and how amazing they are, and the opportunity to be able to change lives. And then sometimes, somewhere along the way, for some people, it becomes about themselves. And this isn't happening fast enough. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. And I'm that person who loves you so hard. I'll talk truth to you, and I'll say, what did this become about? Did this become about your rank? Because like you said, we get to do this, and I love that you said it that way. We don't have to. We get to.
That's right. Exactly.
So awesome. Okay, let's talk about how many level 1 actives do you have? I had it as runners, and that can mean so many different things to different people. But what does that look like for you today?
Gosh, I was writing down level 1s that are really working it, like going to Super Saturday, going to convention. I want to say there's about 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then I probably have, I want to say about 40 active, wholesale buyers. Some months they're not, some months they're on, but they renew every year. And I have a lot more on my second leg than my ruby leg than I do on my first. I have stronger people, obviously, on my first diamond leg. But it's really interesting that, I just have had to work really a lot harder that second. I mean, you've re-entered, so it's just a lot of them, just have really, it's really to get them to work. I have a ruby on there and a couple. Well, I actually have quite a few rubies, but they're really deep. Like they're like fives and sixes. And, but I have a lot. I mean, and then of course, Matt's team, you know, I work with them because Matt does the business pretty part-time. He's my support, you know, and so I have them kind of spread out, but I'm very, very blessed. I mean, I have amazing level ones. Like they are lifers. And they're so supportive, and they all friends now, and it's just so fun to see, you know, so we have a great team. But, you know, to kind of like elaborate on that, like it's so important to build wide, and you never stop, you know, recruiting. I think, didn't you win the 2 planners? You little rock star. 6 new level ones for you. That's amazing. And that's, you know, it is so important. I mean, you cannot just stop. And like when you're saying what keeps you motivated, it's like, why would we stop?
Why?
You know?
It doesn't, you know, it's a different type of business. I think when you've been seasoned in it for a little bit, you work harder, I think, for it. I'm trying to find the words, but at the end of the day, I tell people, I said, I feel like I work harder now than I even did in the beginning. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's because before it was new. And so in your warm market and even your cold market, it was just bigger. And now people know what you're doing. And so it's not as new and not. Right.
They're just jumping on. They're kind of like, you know.
Right, exactly. But I love it. And what I'm reminded of when we have these challenges, because I'm so goal focused, it's like, I want that planner. I want it. If I can earn it twice, I want it twice. And so, but what I love about it is that it's been a reminder to me how much I love and I use this term, I don't want to cheapen this when I say this word, the hustle of this business, you know, getting in there, following up with work, like actually working, you know.
It's fun. No, I so get that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, okay, we're almost here at the end. What is one fun thing you've been able to do since you've become a diamond?
Okay, so Matt was with American for 27 years, which means we never bought a ticket and were confirmed ever. We were like, you know, we actually, it was just too hard when the boys got older to vacation because we would always fly standby. And, you know, with the internet now, like you can think a flight has seats and like the day before they'll dump a bunch of specials on the internet and all of a sudden the flight's full. So you show up at the airport, you're ready to go, that you think the flight has 10 open seats and they're like all of a sudden they're oversold or something. So you know, there's been more than one, but we've just taken some really fun vacations as a family. Like we went to Kauai, we've been to Costa Rica, we're going to Kona next week. And just to be able to fly confirmed, and we just get all these fun excursions, and we stay at the, you know, now that Plexus has spoiled us, it's like you can't really go back to like the weird hotel. I mean, not that they're bad, but you know, they're not as nice when they don't have the little robes. And I know we get spoiled. But that's just kind of been our treat because we do love to travel, and we just kind of stopped traveling. We actually started camping, which was really fun. We love to camp. But just to be able to take these vacations, and because the boys cannot go in the fall on the Plexus trip. It's just in the middle of marching band season. Now my other son's in college. So, and it's kind of even better because then it's not a Plexus trip, and we can be 100% together, the 4 of us, for a whole week. And we're really close. You know, we're a pretty close family, but we just don't get to we're not all 4 together all the time. We just can't be because of their schedules. So that's been like a really big deal to be able to, you know, buy tickets and know you're going to get on the airplane. And then the only other thing that's been really kind of fun is I do like a massage a month. I joined a little spa via thing, and I do like the rustic cuff of the month. And like those are the things I never would have done ever, you know, to get a bracelet every month or something silly like that. But it's just kind of fun to get a little gift. And yeah,
it is. It's those little things, and it's the freedoms that this opportunity brings us to have just some small pleasures and big pleasures. And like you said, to be able to actually buy airline tickets and be confirmed and know that you're really going without the disappointment, I would think how that must feel. Yeah.
We went, I can't remember what trip we were on, but we got split up, and I just can't, you know, it's just like, but just it's expensive to buy tickets. And so when you can fly for free, you know, plus we couldn't afford it. So yeah, it's good.
I'm happy for you for that. That's a cool one. I didn't know. Obviously I knew Matt worked for the airlines, but it just didn't click in my head that to be able to fly confirmed would be a big deal.
It's a big deal. Oh, and now when I see people at the end, when we're flying and they're waiting for their seat, it's like, remember that used to be us, like praying, like you're just hoping this whole group doesn't show up, which is horrible. I hope people miss their flight so we can get on our flight.
Hey, it might be a great place just to go hang out and pass out your card and some samples. Hey, do you ever want to not do this again?
Right. It's so true, huh? Just hang out at the airport and get a bunch of
doing the work. So last question for you. Why should the people that are tuning in to our little show here, why should they go to Super Saturday?
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you? It's like less than $20, or is it $20 or something? I mean,
like that.
And here's what I'm going to talk about commitment and being all in. I actually just did. Are you doing the 12 days of diamonds, or have you sharing that yet?
It's being shared through Celeste's team. We just did another challenge, but it's on Celeste's page.
Okay.
So yes,
yeah, I was yesterday's video, and I talked about being like all in.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
which is the name of my team, by the way, Team All In.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Okay. So here's the deal. When I was brand new, I was like a new senior goal. Okay, so I joined in September of 2012. And so Super Saturday was that next, like just a few months later in January. And it was like, 2013. So there was like 4, there weren't that many. And the closest one to me at the time when I first registered was in Ardmore, Oklahoma. So I was going to fly from Reno to Dallas, rent a car, and drive an hour and a half to Ardmore for a 2-hour training. But I was like, if I'm going to do this and I want to like earn a trip to, Maui and Alexis and replace an income and get my husband, it was like my brain from being in network marketing for 16 years is like, of course I'm going. If I have to put the ticket on a credit card, I just know the information, the knowledge I'm going to learn that day is going to be so valuable to me. I just took it seriously. And so thankfully, she got wind that they opened up a Scottsdale Super Saturday, and Charles said, hey, let Helen know if she wants to come to the Scottsdale one, we'll give her a tour of home. If she wants to arrive on Friday, we'll give her a tour of home office. I was like, what? Okay, like where I came from, there was 3 million beauty consultants. You never met anybody at the top, let alone got your picture taken, like nothing. Like you didn't know them. You could never, ever get close to anybody. So I was like, the CEO would give me a tour. I was like blown away. So I was a brand new senior gold. My neighbor was a brand new silver. And we went, we flew standby, Reno, Los Angeles, Phoenix. We got the last, and I'm not joking, it was so God. We got the last 2 seats on both those flights there and both the flights back. Like literally the last 2 full flights the whole time. But we were blessed because of our commitment, to go. And it was just a blast. And, absolutely. So when I hear people just go, I don't want to drive 4 hours, whatever, it's like, I took 2 airplane flights. We paid for a hotel. Like, it was like, and there was no Friday night opportunity event. We just did that's just what you do. So do I need to say any more?
Well, no, it's the commitment, and it's seeing it through, and it's saying, I'm doing this. It's again, going back to the belief and being certain, and there is no plan B, that if you're serious about this, you'll find a way. I mean, I think Alec even told the story one year of somebody sold their mattress to go to Super Saturday, or it was convention, but either way, it's an event. And, and now they're just getting even better and better.
Well, now they're like 4 hours and they're so packed with information, and it's an investment in your business. It's like, if you don't go to Super Saturday or you question it, you're not all in, you're not committed, you're letting fear, you just have one toe in, your line hasn't been drawn in the sand, because that is a great opportunity. You can go with, sidelines, or if you have a team, and the bonding, and it's the memories, and it's like, the information is going to be great, but it's just one more layer of your experience with Plexus to make you appreciate our family and just the relationships and those really important things to make you realize how awesome our business is. There's nothing like it.
And I love your honesty, and that's the type of person Helen is, y'all. She's just going to love you so hard to tell you that if you don't do this, you're not all in. And y'all,
tough love. Sorry, I always say more love than tough.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's true. You know, I think in hearing from somebody who's made it from the top, we have to be honest, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, if I sat down and said, oh, this business is, no. It can be very challenging, but it's up to you, right? What was my saying? If it is to be, it's up to me. So you get on there and register for Super Saturday.
That's right. Well, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate, number one, you sharing your time with us. Number two, your honesty and candor and your wisdom. And most importantly, just your heart and your love for, first and foremost, people, but then the passion that surrounds this business, it shines through. And I have to tell you, I'm going to end this by letting you know you're glowing because of the way the sun's coming in.
I know.
You look angelic.
Like the light just like when, I don't know, the sun went down and all of a sudden my light is
you look absolutely radiant.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, you all know you have like the greatest leader. Rainey just has a heart of gold, and she's one of my favorite Diamond Sisters and PFFs ever. And just to see you leading by example and everything you've done, I'm just so impressed. And I know your team is so blessed and they just love you.
You're so sweet. Well, you're literally about to make me cry. So
it's true.
With that, I'm going to end the recording, and I super love you and I thank you for your time.
Thank you.